It's Wednesday, March the 8th, a day which has been set aside to celebrate women, both young and old, rich and poor, powerful and vulnerable, and to raise awareness on issues that affect the female gender. Hello everyone, welcome to this very special program, Women in Leadership, which we're hosting in celebration of International Women's Day. I'm Maokbe Ogun. Well, we're doing this in collaboration with the British High Commission here in Nigeria. While I'm not alone on this program, have people here with me in our studios here in Abuja, and very shortly we will be joining our crew, where Amarachi Ubani will be standing by, with also another group of panelists and also an audience as well. In the meantime, I'd like to wish all the women in our audience Happy International Women's Day, and all the women out there as well, Happy International Women's Day. I'm not hearing any thank you.
Thank you.
Well, to all the men who are also here to celebrate with us, thank you very much for joining us. And we're going to, quickly mention this. It's very great to celebrate women all over the world, and we should celebrate them every day, actually, because for them, we might not be able to do the jobs that we now take for granted and enjoy the rights that we enjoy alongside this job that we do. However, there is still plenty of work to be done, as many women have been, and many more will be left behind if action is not taken. It's for this reason that Channels Television has partnered with the British High Commission in Nigeria to talk about some of these issues that affect women and help drive the conversation for this year's theme, Be Bold for Change. Here in Nigeria, considerable progress has been made in the indices that concern women. However, progress has in some instances come in trickles, and in others, not at all. Our correspondent, Yomi Otaigbe, should be joining us very shortly with a report chronicling some of the socio-political and economic challenges that women face in today's Nigeria. But before that report comes in, I'm going to pose a very quick one to the British High Commissioner, we're very pleased to have with us in our midst today, Paul Arkwright. You're welcome to this program, Women in Leadership.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted that the British High Commission has been able to partner with Channels TV on this very, very special day. And I'd like to join you in welcoming all the women here, but also all the men, to help us in what I'm sure will be a great celebration. It's also my son's birthday today, so there's another reason why I'm very happy.
He shares one with the Vice President, the acting President now.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Although he is slightly older than my son, I have to say. No, there are several reasons why we wanted to engage with this. I mean, you've named a number of them. It's about celebrating the achievements of Nigerian women. There are many of them here on the panel. I've seen some photographs of some amazing role models here in Nigeria, female role models that you've got around the studio. And I see just over your shoulder Amina Mohammed, who of course has only just gone to the UN as the Deputy Secretary General, as the most senior African woman in the whole of the United Nations organization, which is a wonderful thing. And Esther, of course, knows her very well, as I do. So a celebration of what women in Nigeria have achieved, and then perhaps challenging ourselves about what more women need to do and what more men need to do to help women to really achieve their full potential. Because I'd like to think that equality of opportunity is very much a British value. It's a universal value. It's one that we believe we are carrying out in practice. We're not perfect. We can go further. But there are some excellent examples in the UK as well as here. We have a British Prime Minister, for example, a woman Prime Minister in the UK. So good examples of leadership for women. And somebody once said to me, you're a football fan, aren't you, Paul? And I said, yes, absolutely. I love football. I know. I'm not a Liverpool fan. Sorry, Esther. Bolton Wanderers and JJ Okocha. Yeah, okay. But somebody said to me, if you are a team and you want to achieve the best that a team can achieve, you do not leave half of your team on the bench. You do not wait for half of the team to come onto the pitch. You invite them onto the pitch. you encourage them to participate, because we're missing out. We're missing out if we don't involve women, if we don't involve their experiences. And no country can really truly develop by completely ignoring half of its population.
True.
So let's see what more we can do to help that half of the population to fulfill its potential. And so I'm really looking forward to the panel discussion, to the discussion here in the studio. Well, I'm going to join in and let you know what I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Well, I did tell you earlier that our correspondent, Yomi Otaigbe, will be joining us shortly with a report. I understand that she is on standby right now. So here's the report chronicling some of the social, political, and economic challenges that women face in today's Nigeria.
March 8th, a day set aside every year to take a closer look at how far women around the world, and indeed Nigeria, have gone in terms of the enforcement of their rights, which are basically fundamental human rights. These rights include the right to live free from violence, slavery, discrimination, to be educated, to own property, to vote, reproductive rights, and earn a fair and equal wage, among others.
Although Nigeria has signed the International Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, we find that the country hasn't ratified, meaning the convention has no effect in Nigeria now. We also find out that even though quite a number of states have passed laws that protect women in relation to widowhood, female genital mutilation, forced marriages, we still see that the policy environment or the institutional frameworks that are supposed to say arrest offenders or provide remedy to the victims are very weak.
Other areas government in Nigeria at all levels should look into include tackling the worrisome cases of domestic and sexual violence against women. While the implementation of the laws are expected to be strengthened, the society needs to play a more positive role.
The issue of domestic violence, it has just reached epidemic proportions, and that is just this dysfunction. It's the dysfunction, and it doesn't help that society doesn't stand strongly when these cases happen.
Flipping the page to politics, the level of women's political participation in the country, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, is 6.7%, way below the recommended national gender policy of 35% affirmative action.
They just think that once a woman is not economically empowered or endowed, she can't do it, because it's all about money. Women don't have the kind of money and the kind of muscle and the kind of connections that the men have.
Despite the challenges facing the Nigerian women, the future remains bright based on a few success stories.
In the past, when we don't have enough money to send our children to school, what do? We pick the male child and we tell the female child to stay at home, to cook and clean, and learn how to be a good wife for her future husband. But now we must appreciate what the Constitution says, that there's free education for our children from primary school to secondary school. There's nothing the men are doing that the women cannot do. We have men that are judges, we have women that are judges, we have women that are doctors and lawyers, even legislators, we have them. Thank you very much.
The United Nations began celebrating International Women's Day in 1975. It has become a rallying point to build support for women's rights and participation in the political and economic arenas. Yomi Otaigbe reporting for Channels Television News.